What's up, morning crew? On this week's episode, we are joined by a special guest, Brody Browning, as he competes against me in Not So Elementary Education. So make sure you stay tuned for that to see if I can get dethroned as the king of trivia. But before we get into it, Porter and I do some Would You Rather questions where we talk about selfie bathroom etiquette, protesting Kidz Bop. It's a lot of laughs. You're definitely not going to want to miss it. Make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, and enjoy.
Wee, wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome back to PM in the AM, a comedy podcast for listeners of all ages. I'm getting thumbs down already, but this is the show that is going to make you laugh out loud no matter where you're listening, regardless of what Blake is thinking and glaring at me right now. He did not like my French impression, but we are excited to bring you a hilarious show. We've got insane Would You Rather questions coming up. We've got Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader style segment called Not So Elementary Education. But before we get into any of that, Blake, co-host Blake Bushman, how are you doing this week?
Well, I was doing a lot better. And then I think we lost about 90% of our listeners after that intro. I don't think that if I tuned into a podcast and the first thing I heard was wee, I'd turn it off. I'd go do something more productive. So hopefully, thank you to everybody who stuck through and was like, all right, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't know how you're still here after that.
I don't know how that made you feel so bad, Blake. Out of all the things I've done, I've tried to think of things that kind of start with W to go right into the wakey, eggs and bakey, which is a staple of the show. It's something we do every week. I thought, a little wee with a nice, is that French or Italian? I don't even know what language that is, honestly.
Wee would be French, yeah.
Okay. So see, it's because you hate Paris. That's why you're going negative on me, even though there's no reason for you to be.
Don't limit it to just Paris. It's the entire country.
Oh my gosh. Blake, see, no wonder. I kind of thought it was Italian. See, if I was trying to cater to you, I probably shouldn't have done that because I should have known that you were just going to be unnecessarily rude to the entire country of France.
Well, as soon as they start acting like they're not better than anybody, maybe I'll reconsider. But until then, we got a podcast to do and a whole country to hate.
Yeah, okay. I'm not agreeing with you on the hate part, but we do have a podcast to do. That's a good segue, Blake. But before we get into the Would You Rather questions we have coming up, I've got to share a quick story, Blake. So I have recently been, doing some job interviews, trying to move forward in life, trying to make some big money moves. And so, I had my nice podcasting microphone and my whole setup going because it was a virtual interview. So there's a little bit of a pro tip right there. Maybe this is a Porter's pro tip. I hadn't even thought about that. But I had my podcasting thing going. And so we hop on an interview. The guy has like his AirPod in one ear, it's like really grainy video camera quality. And then I'm over here just looking like a consummate professional. I am looking like just absolutely highest quality 4K camera.
Any Zoom call that might come up.
Yeah, and this is my pro tip because it actually got me past the first round of interviews without even having, a fifth of the experience required to move on for that job. So I didn't ultimately end up getting the job. I got to work on sealing the deal now, but I did have that as a pro tip that if you have like a nice setup and you look professional, you sound professional, you're probably going to stand out against the candidates, Blake.
I thought your pro tip was just going to be start a podcast so that when you get a job interview, it'll help you in that. But no, making sure you don't look like a doofus going into the interview is a pretty good tip in general.
Yeah. So that definitely helped me out. And it was, it was good. Glad I could get through that interview. Hopefully in the future,
we got to get a full studio for you to get to actually land the job.
That's what it's going to take.
Just one step.
I've got like one of those like neon signs behind me and just like blackout curtains. Yeah. It has like the boom mic where the arm is like reaching across my video. That's when they would know. That's when they know this guy means business.
One day. I'm working towards that right now. As you can see, I finally patched up the wall behind me.
Oh,
So
that is the update we've all been waiting
we are
for.
making strides in the game right now. So it took me a month of living in this house to do it, but we finally got there. So hopefully someday we'll have some nice decorations, maybe the neon sign. Who knows? But I'm just happy that now if I ever have a job interview, I have a job, so I won't be doing any interviews. But if I ever need to get an interview done, I got a nice wall behind me. I'll prop up the microphone. I'm ready to go.
That is clutch. For you audio listeners who don't know what Blake's talking about, he has had in the past 3 irregularly sized splotches of places where paint needed to be touched up. And, he's just moving into a new house, so cut the guy some slack. He has patched it. It's looking great. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, head over to PM in the AM podcast on YouTube or Instagram to make sure you're checking out the videos there. But Blake, our Would You Rather segment kind of took off. We have a video that is now over 400,000 views. How do you feel about that?
It feels great, man. I hope that there's somebody listening now who found this podcast from that video. We've had a couple that have done really well. The 400,000. We have another over 100 or 200,000. We appreciate everybody who watches those, shares those, likes those, comments. And if you're here for the first time, welcome in. We're glad you made it this far. It's only uphill from here. It was a rough start, but we're moving.
We're chugging along, like the little engine that could or whatever. So let me give you your first Would You Rather question of the day, Blake. And, I had a little bit harder of a time coming up with them. So hopefully these ones are as good as they have been in the past. So for your first Would You Rather question, Blake, this one kind of comes with like a scenario. So you have to insult everyone you meet in order to fulfill this Would You Rather. So would you rather say no disrespect or don't take this the wrong way before dishing out an insult to everyone you come across?
I like the no disrespect. I mean, either way, I'm going to be insulting him, right? So let's assume that I say the same insult. I kind of like the no disrespect because it feels a little more fresh. Because when I say don't take this the wrong way, it's like I'm trying to sugarcoat it a little more. But when I'm saying no disrespect, it's like, look, I'm going to say what I mean, but, no disrespect. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, they both kind of mean the same thing. It's definitely in the delivery, but I think, you brought up a good point there. When you say, don't take this the wrong way, immediately, what does your mind do? You're like, if I was like, Blake, your wall, don't take this the wrong way, but you did a terrible job painting it. Like, of course you're going to take that the wrong way because that's mean. And I'm not saying you did a terrible job. You did a great job. But if I was to have said that to insult you, I think that's mean.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of little sayings like that where you only say it right before you're about to say something. It's like not to be racist or anything, and then you say something that's incredibly racist. Like nothing has ever come after one of those phrases that is not what you just said it was going to be. Like you can't say, hey, look, not to be rude or anything, and then not say something incredibly rude. So if you're gonna have to do it, I like to. No disrespect just feels a little better to me, so I'm gonna run with it.
All right.
And
I think
no
that's
disrespect.
That's good. Oh, no. Let's see what you got.
No, I'll respect and I'll love here. Maybe later we'll see how the podcast goes, but for now we'll stay good.
All right. What do you got, Blake?
All right. My first one here for you. Would you rather ask every woman you meet if they are pregnant or take a selfie every time you use the toilet and post it online?
Oh no. Okay, so it's funny. The second part of that is really funny. I mean, the first part I have never done, but I have been around when that question has been dropped, and unfortunately, the woman was not pregnant. And I think my stomach dropped. I felt like I had a baby inside me kicking because I felt so sick at that question. But the second part of that question, taking a selfie every time you take a dump, it's funny because the app Be Real, the social media where you take a picture of what you're doing when the timer goes off. I think for some reason it just tracks my bathroom schedule. There's been about, 5 or 6 times where I have literally been sitting on the toilet and I'm like, oh, okay, time to be real. I'm like, oh, wait. We're not going to be that real. That's a little too
here. Real. You don't want to be that real.
But I mean, obviously I'm not going to, show what's going on. I'm not going to show the aftermath of whatever disaster has just taken place. So I'm taking a nice selfie from the neck up. I'm glad you didn't make this like any criteria to go any lower than that. A nice face pick with the nice little square back of the toilet.
Yeah,
I
as
think
long
that
as it's
goes
clear that
good.
you're on the toilet, I'll allow it because
Okay.
people have to know what's going on. If it's that and you do the little poop emoji with it and you post it that way, that's acceptable as long as it's very clear that you are in the middle of your business
Yeah.
and then you're posting this.
I will make it very clear to not have to ask a woman if she is pregnant because that is, I am convinced, the most rude thing you can do, and there is just absolutely no coming back from it. So, guys out there, delete that question because it's just not a good thing. And I can't even remember. I was talking to somebody a while ago. I don't remember who it was, but they told me that they had done this. And I just felt really sad for them. They were asking for like, how should I follow this up? And I was like, just don't follow it up. Just never talk to that lady again.
And that's where I was gonna go because I am a regular pooper. I probably poop more than it's probably unhealthy, but I think it's actually incredibly healthy. I mean, I'm on a strict schedule, you know, in the morning, at work, after lunch, when I get home, and at night. Like I'm a 4 times a day minimum kind of guy. So that's a lot of posts. I mean,
Ooh.
people are going to be like, "Does this guy do anything else than just like eat Taco Bell? Why is he always on the bathroom?" So I don't know if I can do that one. I mean, that's just a lot of posts to be going through, and I'd want to keep it fresh after a while. You don't want the same picture of the neck up with the toilet stuff going on in the background.
Oh
So
no, don't keep it fresh. Do us all a
so
favor.
yeah,
Keep it the same.
well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be responsible for that. Who knows if I am not paying close enough attention and I get a little leg action in there. I mean, it's going to be bad news. I could end up in prison or something. So I will actually be asking every woman I meet if they are
You're a
pregnant.
horrible
I'm going to
person.
try to put a fun twist on it, and just be like, you have that pregnancy glow. I'm gonna try to work my way out of it, but
You know what that means? You say you have the glow. You're saying they've put on 10 to 15 or something. That
No,
glow's not
no.
good.
Even before you really start to like show, people have that just that glow about them when they're carrying, the hormones doing stuff and whatnot. So I think I can pull it off, make it a compliment, and hopefully I don't get smacked.
I need the women to take my side here, and I
Oh,
need
it's
the
awful. Don't
women
get me
to.
wrong.
Blake is willingly saying that he would rather ask a woman if she's pregnant than take a bathroom selfie of his face. I need the women to come to my defense here and teach this man a lesson before he gets himself killed or hurt. Something bad's going to happen to you if you do this.
Yeah, I mean, if they are pregnant and they have that pregnancy strength, well, I guess if they're pregnant, they wouldn't be upset. They'd just be like, "Oh, I am. Yeah, thanks for asking." Unless I catch them in the bad mood, because you know how the mood swings go. So it's risky. I'm not denying that it's a bad game to be playing, and I would not be doing it if it weren't for my uh, extraordinarily regular bathroom schedule.
All right. So, agree to disagree. Let's move forward to my next Would You Rather question, Blake. Would you rather protest a Kidz Bop concert or attend a Kidz Bop concert on the front row and boo the entire show?
So if I'm protesting, let me just lay out the scene here. Am I out front with a little picket sign?
Yep. You're
Okay.
picketing, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're wearing a shirt that says like "End Kidz Bop." It's the whole deal. Whole show. You're protesting the whole show.
Oh, so I have to stay outside the whole time because that was the
Yes.
only way I was gonna play it. Is that I only have to pick it for like an hour and then I can
Okay,
leave.
let's say it's the same time frame. So you may arrive a
Okay.
little bit before the show just to get as the patrons are walking in. You may not have to stay. And then you have to show up at the end of the show to get them as they're going out. I want you to hit them with a double whammy on their way in and on their way out.
You know what? I really want to make a change, and I don't think protesting makes a change. I don't think that standing outside with a picket sign, the people that are there, they're not going to turn around and go home. So who I'm really trying to get, I'm trying to get it right at the source, right at the artists who are doing these songs, right at the little kids singing. I'm standing front row. I'm booing them. I'm letting them think about their life decisions. And hopefully some good will come out of it, that they will decide to be like, wow, this music actually is awful. I'm going to go ahead and change the course of my life, and I might be doing some good.
I want everyone to imagine this. Blake is there at the Kidz Bop concert, absolutely alone, standing next to two 9-year-olds that are there with their whole families, a couple of 5-year-olds. And this guy, with a beard, he's clearly older than 12, is just up there just booing these kids that are 13-year-olds trying to sing nice covers of the popular songs of the time. This is not going to go over well. That is going to be horrendous.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure I can take a 9-year-old in a fight. I'm pretty sure I can take an entire stadium of 9-year-olds in a fight. So if anybody's really upset, even if the artists are like, you know what, I've had enough of this guy booing the whole time, I'm going to go down and give him the business. I feel pretty confident I could take them. And then I could claim self-defense because, they came at me. So, it goes back to that question of how many 5-year-olds could you take in a fight? I'm pretty certain I could take every 9-year-old that goes to a Kidz Bop. Those kids are not the strong sort that I have to worry about. So I'm pretty good.
Yeah, you better hope the singers' parents, aren't kind of ripped. They kind of the gym folk or something. They come beat you up for booing their kids. So.
You think you're going to be going to the gym and your kid's going to be singing Kidz Bop? No,
yeah, probably not.
You're doing theatrical performances. There's some overlap there, and I'm pretty sure I could take them. So I'm feeling good about that.
Well, that is good logic there. I think it is probably the fastest way to get kicked out. You might be able to protest legally for some reason outside, so you might have to spend the whole time. You're probably going to get kicked out of the concert pretty quick. There's probably going to be some stirring going on in the audience around you. You're probably going to get the boot. I don't know if you get arrested or what, but you're going to get taken out of there pretty dang fast. So I think you went with the right one there.
I'll take it. All right, Porter. Would you rather have to write out everything you say by hand or only be able to speak in rhymes?
Ooh, I would love to speak in rhymes. That'd be sweet. I'm trying to do it right now, but I can't even do it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I guess this smells like lead. I don't know what more to be said.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't think about when I
let's get this bread.
When I put this question is this like a curse, like you can only speak in rhymes, or you're just forced to? I'm going to say that you're forced to. You have the same ability you have now, but you can't say anything unless you can make it rhyme. So you might just be a mute unless you can really think about what you want to say and hope that the conversation doesn't change by the time you formulate your rhyme.
It would be with such dread to have to rhyme everything in my head. Just kidding. That's all I got. I was thinking of that for a while.
Spitting bars.
If somebody says orange in a conversation, you're done.
Yeah, no, because
they figure out you're like, this guy rhymes all the time. That'd be super annoying, honestly. If somebody was just rhyming all the time, you're like, okay, I don't even know any poets' names. Okay, Lao Tzu, or is that a philosopher? Maybe.
Yeah, that's a.
Okay, Edgar Allan Poe. Okay, step aside.
Edgar Allan Poe was he came up. I mean,
that's the only poet I know.
Is he a poet? I just know he comes up with the really twisted stories.
Oh, okay, maybe he's an author.
Yeah.
I thought he was a poet.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally be wrong here, and I'll be roasted by my wife later, who definitely knows who Edgar Allan Poe is. But I don't know if he was known for his rhyming abilities. I think the word you're looking for is Eminem. That's
yeah.
That's
true.
what you need. You're just gonna have to become a rapper. That's gonna drop the podcast, start your rap career, and I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, you better hope rhythm goes with that rhyme. So is that what you would be taking as well, Blake, or are you writing everything out?
Here's the problem. I think the most efficient way to do that would be with a whiteboard, and I am left-handed. And I don't know if you've ever tried to write on a whiteboard with your left hand. It's impossible because you erase everything as you do it, or you get the worst hand cramp that has ever been known to man. So for the sake of that, I don't want to have to learn how to write right-handed. So I'll be rhyming, I'll be spitting bars, and we'll see how it goes.
I've never even thought of that being like, kind of a problem for left-handed
Oh
people. And then
man.
as you picture, as you're writing, your wrist is just erasing everything that
Hmm.
you've already written. Yeah, you're
It
not going to
was
get
a
much
it was a
communicated.
blessing and a curse in school because if you ever got
Mhm.
called up on the board and you didn't really know how to do it, you just have to write enough to make it look like you know what you're doing, and then just erase it as you go by, and leave a little bit so they know you were writing something, but it's not legible. You can't figure out what it says, and you could get away with it, and then she'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I don't want to go through the whole thing. You can just sum it up, teacher."
Wait, I figured out. I mean, that's a good tip, but I just figured it out. Like, you need to learn to write the Chinese symbols because I believe they go from left to right. So
Hmm.
you would actually be at an advantage if you were writing the characters out.
Yeah, unless that's my only form of communication, I'd have to move to China because nobody
Yeah.
here would know what I'm saying.
True, but I just gave you the perfect,
I'd
situation for
have
that
to
for all
I'd have to
left-handed
just learn how
people.
to write backwards and then carry the whiteboard and a mirror and hold them both up so, so that they could read it regularly, but I'd be able to write backwards.
I guarantee that is the least efficient way possible, but we have found a solution to that. All right, let's move into my last would you rather question, Blake. So, would you rather give a super buff, ripped person advice on their weightlifting form, which you must physically show them, or give them a flyer regarding the negative consequences of steroid use?
Oh, I'm 100% showing them because you know what's going to happen if I give them a flyer? They're going to be like, "This guy is a dirtbag," you know. But if I show up there, I'm not particularly strong by any means. If I show up there and start giving him pointers on stuff, and I'm trying to show him how to do it, but I'm doing it with just dramatically less weight, I think he's going to be like, "This dude is a comedian. I want to be his friend," and then I'm just going to have a whole bunch of ripped friends who will get my back if I'm ever having to protest a Kidz Bop concert or whatever it may be. So I'm going to run with that one. I think that I'm less likely to get just absolutely destroyed with a punch.
Okay, I think you got good logic there. I think, you know, I just can't wrap my head around the fact that they're not going to be upset. That if you jump in with them and you're just going to try and work out with them, they're not going to just be like, yeah, dude, come lay down on this bench that I've been using, take all of my weights off, put on, 10, 15 pounds, and then do your thing. They're not going to like that. So I think maybe the quick flyer in and out, I think
Mm.
that's the advantage to that one. I'm getting in, I'm getting out, I'm changing
You're
my look
getting out in
forever
a
so they can't kill me.
gurney. That's the only way you're getting out. They are ripping the spine from your body if you try to do that to them. So the steroids got them. They got that roid rage. So I
True.
wouldn't mess with it.
It's dangerous, but I'm gonna have to take it. I'm a man of danger. I live on the edge.
All right. Would you rather always hit a red light for the rest of your life, or always get slow internet after the sun goes down?
Huh. See, I feel like I do the most majority of my, TV watching
Hmm.
on the internet now. So sundown could be a problem. But I can't do the red light, man. I drive way too much. If I hit every single red light, I won't even have to worry about internet because I'll never be using it. I will be stuck at every single stoplight for my entire life. So I'm gonna, probably get an overnight job at that point. I'm gonna switch up and do graveyard shift. And so by the time I get home, the sun's just rising.
Yeah.
I can watch my TV in the morning. I can, do whatever I'm gonna do on the internet. I can do my Googling in the morning and I'll be just fine.
You better hope it's not a work from home job that you get, because then you're done. You get a graveyard shift with slow internet. I mean, you're getting fired.
How many work from home overnight jobs exist? I
It's got
don't
to
think
be.
a
There's
single
got to be a
one.
few, call centers or something.
Okay, okay, okay. I could see that. That was
Yeah.
good. I didn't think of that.
I will be taking the other one. As much as I hate red lights, I can't stand it. But if I know like I'm gonna hit every red light, I'll plan it into my schedule. Like, oh, I gotta leave 10 minutes earlier because I'm gonna hit every possible red light. But then I'm also just gonna try to drive on all the back roads. Avoid. I mean, I'll hit stop signs, sure, but no cop, no stop. And then I'll avoid all the red lights, or I'll just make 3 right turns and try to get around it.
You're going to
So
avoid the lights.
yeah, so
Okay.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do what I can to avoid the red lights, but I gotta be. I think my wife would leave me if had no internet at home after the night. I mean, that's what we
That's
do.
a.
We turn on a show. That's part of our quality time together. And if we
But
can't
what
do
if you
that,
downloaded it during the day and played it off air at night?
can you download? I don't pay for that premium subscription. I'm a base level kind of guy. You don't get the download service on that. So
Blake, you're the biggest pirate I've ever seen.
listen, that is
I
true.
I know you can work your magic.
That is true. I would find a way, but then my whole storage is going to be filled with pirated movies, and that you wouldn't download a
Hypothetically
car. So
speaking,
that's
you wouldn't download a car. Allegedly, Blake has been known to download some cars in his day.
Do you remember that commercial from back in the day? Yes.
That and the one where the guy was like all sneaky in the movie store, just putting them all into his bag. Those were legendary commercials that had me. I mean, piracy didn't really even exist
I
in
I
my
had no
mind.
idea what pirating was back then.
Yeah. I
To
really
me
thought
it was
pirates stealing movies on the seven seas.
I thought it was the same thing as drugs. It was like you go to your drug dealer, you can get, your cocaine and your movies. I thought it was the same guy. He did both of them. Now I know that it's just
accidentally
me.
open up. Yeah, sometimes you accidentally open up the movie case that it gives you, and there are drugs in there instead of the movie. So you got to be really careful with the with the pirated movie / drug dealers.
Yeah,
That's a classic though. No, so I really don't know how you're taking every red light, because I think if I know about your red light always hitting disability, I'm probably going to follow you and go the opposite direction, because I know it's going to be green. I know if I go the opposite direction of Blake, when I'm leaving work, I'm going to zoom through this light that takes 5 minutes and it's going to be green.
I want you to think about that real quick. It
doesn't really work. It doesn't. But if I go around the light,
you'd have to be going perpendicular to me.
Yeah. I'm gonna drive perpendicular to you. Is what I was trying to do.
To hit it. Like you have to drive.
It wouldn't make much sense. But if Blake's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be at this big intersection at this time," and I know that's one that takes a while, maybe I'll zip right through on a green. Who knows?
Just for fun, just take a whirl by,
just wave at him while he's stuck. I think we did some good analysis in this segment. We got some good would you rathers. As always, you can send them in to us if you have one that you're thinking of. That's in the listener submission form, which you can find in our Instagram bio at PM in the AM podcast. It's the top option when you click the link. So make sure you're sending us in some would you rather questions that you want to have answered. We have Not So Elementary Education coming up next with a very special guest that we're really excited for. So don't go anywhere. This is going to be awesome. Stay tuned. And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our special guest today, who is going to be going up against our champion, Blake Bushman, in the Not So Elementary Education segment. Blake has destroyed me several times, and so I thought it was fitting to invite a trivia champion in his own rights, Brody Browning, a close friend, a great supporter of the show. And as you can see, he's in a good environment to answer trivia. He's really focused right now. And so, Brody, how are you feeling? We're glad to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be on the podcast. It's my wife and mine's every Monday morning we listen to it. So on our way there, we absolutely love PM in the AM.
Thanks. Really appreciate that, Brody. It's great to have you on. Do you have a favorite moment from the show or anything that's stood out to you?
There have been a lot of moments that my wife and I will just sit there and laugh. For whatever reason, the one that we thought was super funny was your guys' embarrassing text to, and Blake, yours was to your buddy's mom, and then Porter, yours.
Yeah, we don't need to relive that. That's
and
okay.
Then Porter, yours was to your boss, correct? And
yep, it was to my boss. So for whatever
reason, we thought it was super funny, and I think it was just at that time, my brother-in-law had sent a message to his family and was just ripping them like super, super hard. And that happened like a day before. It's kind of during that like Christmas time. And so it resonated with us just on a different level. And we thought it was hilarious. So
no, that's awesome. And Brody actually showed me kind of a hack. He was listening to our podcast, Blake. I don't think I've told you this, on like 0.5 speed. And we just sounded so dumb. Like,
Oh
if you want to make
man.
this podcast 10 times funnier, listen to it on 0.5 speed, and we sound like a couple of super stupid individuals.
Yeah, or just listen to this segment at regular speed, and we usually make a fool out of ourselves anyways.
Yeah, this is the segment where we have Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader style trivia coming up. And so, Blake, since you're the reigning champion, would you like to go first, or do you want Brody to go first?
You know what? Let's give the guest the honors. I got to
Okay.
see what I'm up against,
Okay.
and let's see where his head's at.
Okay, so we will be doing first through sixth grade trivia. You have 2 power-ups. Don't forget, you have a held back, which means you have 2 attempts at the question, which you have to say, before you answer the first time if you want to be
Okay.
held back. And then you have a transfer portal, which will take you into the other subject that you don't originally
Okay.
choose.
Sounds good.
All right, so your first grade categories are U.S. geography or grammar.
Let's do geography.
Okay. Which ocean borders the state of
Georgia.
Georgia?
That would be the Atlantic Ocean.
Correct, correct. It's going to get a little harder, a little confidence builder for you out there. So great work on that one. All right, Blake, your first grade subjects are U.S. geography or English.
I'll follow some U.S. geography back with more U.S. geography. I'm hoping you
Okay.
ask me what ocean borders California.
It's kind of similar. So here we go. Alana went on a trip to see Everglades National Park. Which state did she go to?
I genuinely have no idea.
Yes.
This is not starting out well for me. I'm
This is
try-
easy, right, Brody? This is
Oh,
easy.
super.
Okay, listen. I know that California has a whole bunch of national parks. Now, I am not sure that I've ever heard the word Everglades National Park before. Um, and the other subject was grammar. Is that right?
English.
Oh, English. Oh, I really don't want to use a power up on the first one, especially when English is staring me down on the other side. But I don't know if I feel confident enough in any two guesses. I feel like it's either got to be like California or Everglades. What does that even mean? You know what? I don't want to swing and miss on this one right off the rip. Let's switch to English. I'm entering the transfer portal, and I got to build up some confidence here. And I don't know if that
He,
was the one to do it. Can you
I,
tell me,
I,
was it California?
that would have been incorrect.
Okay.
All right, good option there, going with the other one. So your English question: How many nouns are in the following sentence? The rabbit ran to the cafeteria and ate a big salad.
The rabbit ran to the cafeteria and ate a big salad. Should be 3.
Locking it in?
Locking it in.
That is correct. Great work, Blake. I was really nervous that we were going to get a guest on and you were going to embarrass me in front of Brody here.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, that wasn't the confidence builder that I was hoping for, but I got one under my belt now. It's going to be smooth sailing the rest of the way.
Okay, we'll see. So, Brody, moving on to second grade here. You have health or astronomy.
Let's go with health.
All right. True or false? The human shoulder is a ball and socket
That would
joint.
be true. Locked
Locking it
and
in?
loaded.
That's
Oh,
correct. Good work. He's not even thinking twice. You're just going with it.
I mean, I'm up against some serious competition here. I don't know. We should have started off on an easier level. We should have brought in an actual fifth grader for me to start off. I'm not sure I'm ready for this, but I guess
All right,
we're moving
Blake.
on.
You have English or social studies for your second grade options.
I just already answered an English question. I don't know if I know enough to go back to back. I also don't know what social studies is. So we're gonna attack social studies and see how it goes.
All right, Blake. The oriole is the official bird of what U.S. state?
Here's the thing. I know there's a baseball team that's the Orioles. Now, if you know anything about me, I am not a baseball guy.
Did I stump you
genuinely.
this week? These are
I,
real questions from the show.
yeah, why couldn't you give me the astronomy one? I know you purposely gave that section to Brody,
Okay,
so
that's fair.
so
I
you
did do that on purpose.
yeah, yeah, see? You targeted these questions at my weakness. Social studies has nothing to do with birds though. That much I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea.
um Oriole. Let's go through some baseball teams that I know of. Okay, so it can't be Atlanta. It can't be Seattle. That's it. Those are the two that I know. Orioles. Baltimore.
Gosh.
I will say Maryland.
Locking it in?
I'm locking it in.
That's
Oh,
correct. Great
Let's
work, Blake.
go.
attaboy.
Wow. You dug deep there.
Yeah, I had to
Wow.
really fight for that one. So hopefully it gets easier because this is
Dang,
not looking good.
I know for Brody, he was sitting over there thinking that one was
Oh,
easy,
I'm not gonna
right?
lie, that was an absolute softball. I knew, but then I'm like, maybe it's a switch. Maybe Baltimore isn't, you know. And for a second,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was really banking on baseball being the option because it could totally have been unrelated. Maybe they just happened to have Orioles in Baltimore, and I was totally just going to fall on my face there. But you got to go for it
totally.
sometimes.
All right, great work, you two. Way to get through. Brody's still rocking both power ups. Blake is down to one. All right,
Whew.
third grade. Brody, you have measurements or animal science?
Let's do measurements.
Okay. What unit of measurement is abbreviated OZ?
Oh, that's of course, that's got to be ounces. What final answer?
That is correct. Oh yeah, like, I spoiled it, but that good job. You're just too
Oh,
quick over there. But trust me, they're
I
gonna get
believe it.
harder.
Okay, I mean that was. You're asking me what state an Oriole is is the state bird of, and he's getting ounces. This is I'm calling a rigged vote here. I better get the. I want to know what the abbreviation LB is for. Give me that question.
No, and by the way, you better pick right out of these next ones because there is a very difficult question coming up as one of these in your choice. You have world history or ancient
Oh,
cultures.
That's third.
that's
Those are
third
my
grade.
third grade options: ancient history and world cultures.
You don't
Look,
remember that from third grade?
uh, I remember learning what an ounce was in third grade. I'm getting just bamboozled out here. All right, ancient history. I don't know enough about history. I'll try my world cultures. I'm not entirely confident in that one, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay. What was the primary language used in ancient Rome? Latin, Italian, or Greek?
Bugger. I'm gonna just whip out Latin, locking it in right off the rip.
That is correct.
Attaboy. I'm impressed.
Did you have that
I
one,
did.
Brody?
And was Florida the Everglades?
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would have been my second guess. So I guess I should have kept my transfer portal because I didn't know where else it would be. But I still would have been wrong in my first go. So I would have had to
Well, that's
burn a power up either way, which doesn't make me feel great for first grade.
so either way, Brody's batting 1,000 so far. He hasn't missed one of your questions.
This
He
is
hasn't missed one of his questions. He's locked in today.
This new
All
Chat
right.
GPT is super cool.
You have. I know you're not using it. All right. Your fourth grade options are world history or vocabulary.
Ooh, let's do vocabulary.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. This is one that I didn't know. What is the ordinal of the word 10?
Is it second? I don't know. I have no, like
Say that
second,
again.
because all I can think of is like penultimate. But anyways, yeah, never mind. I have no idea. I don't even know what that first word means either.
You do have both your power ups. Still.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
go to
mean,
the transfer portal. I am gonna switch on over like
Okay.
I'm in the college.
All right. So, world history. Puerto Rico was a colony of what country immediately before the U.S. gained possession of it in 1898?
My guess would be Spain. I'm locking
Locking
that
it in?
in.
Dude, you're
Oh,
automatic. Dang. You made that look
oh, I
easy.
just know they speak Spanish, and so we actually. Oh, we're going to Costa Rica, but Puerto Rico was on our radar. So
Oh,
yeah.
dang. Okay.
He's locked in.
Great. Told you things are going to ramp up, and we ran through one of Brody's power ups there. So, I mean, great job making
All
it
right,
through
so we're at a
fourth
level
grade.
playing field now.
Yeah, level playing field. I have never made it past fourth grade, so you have already outpaced me, Brody. Great work. All right, Blake, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, you've got math or world geography.
I hate to embarrass myself with math again, but I don't know what kind of world geography you're pulling out. I was already, I feel like these questions are bumped up a grade. I'll stick with math, and if I go down, I'm going to go down fighting.
All right. If a car is traveling at 40 miles per hour, how long will it take it to go 190 miles?
Can I use a calculator?
You have to use your brain. There's no calculators on the show.
Okay, so 40 miles an hour. So in 1 hour, 40, 2 hours, 80, 3 hours, 120, 4 hours, 160. So it's going to be like 4 hours and 45 minutes.
You locking it?
Yeah, I mean, I could be off by a little bit, but it's got to be somewhere in there.
That's correct. 4 hours and 45 minutes. And we have 2 contestants moving on to the 5th grade. Man, this is crazy. If you guys had been on the show, you would have been competing for $1 million.
Whoa.
Oh man, Brody, however this last question goes down, it was a well fought fight for both of us. I don't think either one of us should go home disappointed at this point.
No, I agree. I think Porter should fork out the $1 million. I know he's got the cash, or at least take us on a ride in the bus. One of the two.
That was the agreement.
Yeah.
That was the agreement you made when you agreed to come on to the podcast, right? Was that you were actually competing for the $1 million? That's what I understand.
Yeah, that was the fake agreement that I sent over to Brody. That was the only way he would join the show. All right, moving ahead to 5th grade, and I'm going to tell you again, these questions kind of ramped it up a whole nother level. So let's see, Brody, you have Earth science or U.S. history?
We'll do U.S. history.
Okay. Who immediately followed Abraham Lincoln as president of the United States?
I know it was his vice president. Let me think about this. I learned a song in high school, and I never actually learned it because it was the high school basketball coach that taught U.S. history, and so he just gave me 100% on the assignment.
So if you could phone him now and make say sorry for just breezing through his class, I'm sure he might help you out. Too bad there's not a phone a friend perk. We might have to think about that for the future.
All right, I'm going to be held back a grade because
that just gives you 2
All
guesses.
right, well, that's good then. I'm going to need to be held back 2 grades. All I can think of is Booth, but I know that's the guy that killed him. And so I don't believe he succeeded him.
Yeah, I don't think they let him
in.
That would have been bad for America.
Maybe? No, Garfield was way after. I
was today years old and I learned we had a president named Garfield. I thought that was just a cat. I honestly couldn't. I have no idea. I'm gonna go with Garfield because it sounded good, but I know it's not it.
All right, guess again. Right. That is incorrect.
All I could come up with Garfield. It's rather Washington, Garfield, Abraham Lincoln, or Trump. Those are about the presidents I know.
Dang it! Imagine if you had just sung the song.
Okay. Yeah. My gosh. I'm going Jackson.
I mean, I
Final answer.
Yep. That is incorrect.
Oh, so close.
It's close because Andrew Jackson, but you were looking for Andrew Johnson.
I had no idea. That was just a shot in the dark.
That was.
Yeah, that was tough. I'm glad he gave you that one. Let's hope he was a little nicer to me. I don't.
Yeah, I just claim innocence because that was on the show. I mean, I couldn't tell you a thing about Andrew Johnson. I didn't even know he was a president. Like, just like Garfield the cat, I didn't know we had a cartoon in there either. But let's go on and give Blake his fifth grade. This is for the belt, Blake. This is to see if you can retain your championship after stumbling around in the second grade. I believe it was you almost were out.
Yeah, it
You
was a
almost
slow.
didn't know the Baltimore
It was a
Orioles.
slow start for me. I mean, right off the rip in the first grade, I had to use a power up, but the ball's rolling now. I'm feeling fresh, and I think I got this.
I hope I can get you out with these. I mean, here we go. Literature or U.S. history are your options.
I will never go literature. You're gonna ask me about some author. I couldn't tell you what. They were all fake names, and you're gonna ask me what their birthday was or something. I'm gonna go to U.S. history and disappoint my father, who surely will know the answer.
Okay. Well, this won't be the first time you've disappointed your father,
Oh
but
boy.
published in the 1780s, the Federalist Papers were written by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and what man who would later be a U.S. president?
Alexander Madison.
Are you locking that in?
Yeah.
Are you going to use your power up first?
Sure. Yeah, I'll use my power up. I might as well. I will get
Okay,
held back and then answer Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison is incorrect.
Okay, I'm just thinking about the play Hamilton, and what characters were involved in there. I knew Alexander Madison had a big role in that. The only other one I
hate to
can
give you a
remember.
hint here, but if I don't know that I should do this, but just give me the last name of the guy. I'll just say that.
Just the last, and how is that a hint?
It is a hint. You'll figure it out.
Porter, will you repeat the question for me?
Published in the 1780s, the Federalist Papers were written by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and what man who would later be a U.S. president?
I have no idea. I'm just gonna throw out. You said to just say their last name. I don't know how that's a hint. So I'm sure it's not anybody like Thomas Jefferson, because nobody just calls him Jefferson. No, that's reserved for close friends only.
Well,
I don't think anyone
saying
of
that.
us knew him like
I'm
that.
not. I'm saying that based off of your first answer. I'm not saying that based off of a cool president last name like Joey Biden or something. I'm saying that
Madison.
off of.
Okay. So what did Alexander Madison is what I said first? Is that not
Yes.
his name? Oh, because I'm getting it mixed up. It's like what's his real name? Alexander Madison that's a football player.
That's a running back.
Yeah, that's a running back for the Minnesota Vikings.
Great fantasy pick.
Look, football season is approaching. I'm fully locked and loaded. The guy's name is just Regal. All right, don't get mad at me. Alexander Madison sounds exactly like a president. And now the actual Madison is escaping me because I cannot tell you his name.
I told you just to go with the last name. That's
Yeah,
what they did on the show.
I want to lock. I
Oh,
want to
you
lock
want
in
pride.
the full name.
Okay.
I want to really, really swing at this one. But here's the problem. I'm thinking of the right person, but I can't remember what his first name is at this point. I can tell you James Madison. Nope. What are the Thomas Madison? Nope, that's not.
Colder.
You know what? I know it's Madison. All right. But I don't know what his first name is because the only person I can think of is, in fact, the Minnesota Vikings running back. So I will lock in Madison. Will you tell me what his first name starts with?
You had it. It's Jay.
James Madison?
That would have been, yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
Attaboy.
Wow.
So
I really, really got to get football off the brain there. That would have helped me a lot.
no, that was impressive. I think Papa Bushman's going to be impressed with you for being able to walk yourself through that one. I did kind of give you a hint. I mean, I don't know, Brody, are you upset about that? How are you feeling after me
I'm
giving
just
Blake
glad
a
to
hint?
be on the podcast. You know that this is a dream come true. Some people want to win the Super Bowl, and I wanted to be on PM in the AM. So
Yeah, to Brody's family, this is an announcement that this was his make-a-wish, and we have granted his make-a-wish. This is a very
This,
special day for him.
this has been great. It's been a beautiful night here in beautiful South Weber. I was glad to be on the podcast. Blake, you did a phenomenal job.
Oh, you as well. It was excellent competition. I'm glad that I had somebody other than Porter to go toe to toe with, because Porter is great at coming up with the questions, but as we've seen, fourth grade is his weakness. So I'm glad we were able to push it to the end, and it was a good fight with you.
Yeah, Blake retains his belt. We'll have to see who steps up as the next challenger. We're really grateful for your time, Brody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Brody, do you have anything for the listeners on the way out tonight?
Keep listening to the podcast. Enjoy it. Know that we are doing a fantasy football draft here, and I guarantee I will beat Blake in that. So I will retain the championship from last year. Blake Beans is out.
I'm gonna have to draft Alexander Madison after my showing today. I mean, he's obviously on my mind. So
that's all you could think about.
Okay.
All right, Blake, you got anything for the listeners on the way out today?
No, I do not. Just huge shout out to Brody for coming on the pod. It was a lot of fun.
All right, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace out.
Congrats on making it all the way to the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. You are now officially part of the PM and the AM fan base, the morning people, and we are super pumped to have you here. Now that you're a part of the crew, please share the episode with a friend, and make sure to check out the rest of our shows and social media content for more hilarious brackets, crazy questions, and an overall great time. Thanks for listening. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll catch you guys next week.